I managed to pick up this Xbox One controller in a job lot of faulty consoles off of eBay. I've not had much exposure to controllers on this channel yet, so this is almost like a first video I've done of a faulty controller. The fault with this one, whilst it may seem quite simple to others, has proven to be rather difficult for me. I've done a live stream on my channel and have already attempted to fix this, but failed miserably. And I was very upset when I wasn't able to fix it. Editing Joey will probably put a clip up.
Plugged in. That happened last time. Still nuts, man. And now it's the other way. How does that even make sense?
So the goal today is actually pretty simple. It's to try and fix the analog sticks on the controller. It's always good to have controllers handy because when I go eventually to sell Xbox consoles, they sell better alongside a controller. And as you can see, this controller was also disgusting. These are showing a lot better than what they did on the stream. On the stream, one of them was like out here, but now when I put it back to the middle on the axis 0, it's only coming up as 0.18. I say only, that's still an issue. What's really strange is you can see that I've got the controller down here. When I go to move the controller, I'm moving the stick up and down and it moves up and down, but when I go to move it left and right, nothing's happening. The other one moves in any direction at all, so the right one itself is okay, but it's still massively off. I'm looking at where it says axis 2 and axis 3, 0.14 and 0.13. These were replaced on stream and I bought them from AliExpress. I bought a whole pack of them, which you can see here, for like £25. They're meant to be okay, they're meant to be legit good ones. First things first, which is what I learned in a video, you actually have the potentiometers, which are these green bits on the side of the analog sticks. There's 2 on each analog stick. For now and for testing purposes, I'm gonna replace both of the potentiometers on the controller with these ones here. Now, when I done this on stream the other day, it seemed pretty easy, so you should just have to pull away and that's it. However, I have just noticed that there are clips here on the sides of them that I think you're actually meant to push in first. I wasn't doing that on stream the other day. So if I push that in, and then just, yeah, it literally just slides out. Okay, interesting. So I'm gonna do the same for the other 3 that I have. I'm gonna take them off the analog stick. And here we have the 4 potentiometers that I'm gonna put onto the controller. Just have to remove the 2 screws. They're T6 screws that we have holding this board in place. And then one on the opposite side, just down here. I think the best way to remove the potentiometers on the analog sticks themselves is to do exactly what we've just done, but they are soldered at the bottom. And then I should be able to pull all of these out once I've taken the solder from the bottom of the board. I'm going to solder these 3 points here and these 3 over here, and then we'll go over to the other analog stick, which is here, and we'll do the same for these 3 solder joints and these 3 solder joints. These solder joints all here were done by me when I replaced the other analog sticks, and from what I can see, there aren't any connections joining them together which would cause the drift. You can get some flux on these joints here, and I'm just going to put some up top as well for in a second. Turn on my extractor fan. These potentiometers are from other analog sticks that I know that work, so I've just wicked off the bits of solder around them. Now, simply put, I've taken the potentiometer and I've slid it through the board, so you can see that the legs have come through the through holes on the other side. And technically, all we should have to do is push that in and lock it, and do the same with the other 4, and then just solder the legs, and we should be good to go. 1, 2, 3, 4 potentiometers now attached to the stick. Get this green bit of gunk out. Plastic, turn it over, and now all we should have to do is fill in the holes with some solder. I'm going to put my fume extractor on again and add some flux and fill these holes in. Now my favourite part, isopropyl alcohol and a cotton swab. A nice clean up. Now we inspect these little guys underneath the scope after they've had a nice clean and polish. Personally, I think they all look absolutely solid. So remember, it was these 3 down here and it was these 3 over here. Little bit of flux just in between. But other than that, no problems. We still have a capacitor over here and the U11 component as well. So everything technically with this one should be good. Let me know in the comment section if you think there's anything wrong with this soldering. And same story if we move on over here, which is the other analog stick. We've got these three here. Again, a little bit of flux which can come out, and we've got these three up top here as well. So 1, 2, 3, and these three. Everything else looks hunky-dory. Strangely, there aren't actually any components under here compared to this analog stick. You've got, like I said, these two. This analog stick, you've got nothing. I'm just going to put a drop of IPA in both of the sticks now as well, and give it a little bit of a turn and a clean. I don't really want to put the cotton swab down there because just in case any fibers get stuck or caught, everything looks to be moving okay. So you can see here on the side as well, when I move up and down, that moves, and when I move left to right, this one moves as well. So that should be good. Let's put it back together and test. Let's connect the gamepad up. Okay, it's still on, which means we haven't broken it. Okay, not horrific. I mean, a lot better than what it was, so it goes to show that the actual analog sticks themselves might be okay, and it might just be the potentiometers, or as other people call them, pots, I learned the other day. It looks a lot better, but it still needs work. You can't play on these with a 0.12, which is on the Axis 3 here. Like you can't play with that. And even a 0.07 isn't that ideal. And we have a 0.07 on this stick as well. I think what that means is that we're going to replace both of them with two brand new ones. I put that in quotation marks, brand new, because they are from AliExpress, and I don't know if they're going to work that great. If they're anything like the other ones, I have most certainly been scammed. Before I move on and actually replace these, I have seen people on YouTube install silver Phillips head screwdriver silver bit. You install that with solder on whatever analog stick is having the issues, on whatever axis, and you can just tweak it slightly, but I don't have any of those. So that's why I'm going for the replacement and not tweaking it. I'm going to give this 450 degrees Celsius with an airflow speed of 70%, and I'm going to let them drop out. There's one. And there's two. Whilst the board's hot, we want to wick away what we can, which is pretty much everything, if possible. This is all leaded solder already, that's why it's coming up so easy. Again, back to the isopropyl alcohol and a cotton bud. And vias look brand new. Bearing in mind we've already changed the analog sticks once. These ones also looking really, really good. Now I'm going to get the brand new analog sticks which don't have an ounce of solder on the legs, as you can see, and they're spotless. We're going to get them and we're going to slot them through the holes. Oh, I seem to have missed... After all that, I seem to have missed these two holes, and on the other analog sticks, the same holes for 2 seconds. Like nothing ever happened. Going back to what I was saying, take the analog stick, make sure all the holes line up, and then I should just be able to wiggle it through. There we go. And also need to make sure that it's flat to the board. As you can see, that is flatter than flat. That is good, that's what we want. Just quickly going to tack it in place by adding a little bit of solder here. I'll add flux in a second. Just want to tack this in place without pushing it down too much. Tack that in place there. Add that one there as well. There we go. That's without adding flux, by the way. They took so well to the pack. Maybe I don't even need flux. Let's try this without flux, see how far we get. Flux helps with everything. If I can get away without using it, why not? Wow. There's something about soldering, man. Gorgeous. No flux. I don't think I've ever soldered without flux. And the exact same for this side as well. Slot it through. There we go. Make sure it's nice and flat, which I can confirm it is. Tack it down. Perfect. Just making sure it's flat. Put a tiny bit of flux here. Just get rid of that mounting. There we go. Flux to the rescue. Nice. Clean up again with isopropyl alcohol. We didn't use any flux, so there's not much of a mess to clean up, but why not give it a clean? Make those balls nice and shiny. And this is the other analog stick, nice and tidy as well. There we go. Now let's put it back together and test and see if we've been scammed. Controller has been reassembled as much as it needs to be reassembled. Let's see what the situation is. The left one, again, I mean, it's 0.08 and 0.02, but the right one, man, 0.29, 0.17. That's just so much. I might investigate getting those little potentiometers that you can turn and screw to adjust how much drift you get, but I can't lie, I was expecting them to be zeroed. I'm going to deem this as not fixed. Feel free to leave a comment down below with your thoughts as to what's just happened. You can see me attempt to fix a bunch of Xbox Ones here. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.